Alright, baseball fans, the game on the field provides plenty of drama. But sometimes, the tension spills over into the stands, involving the players and the fans themselves. Most of the time, these interactions are positive or just good-natured banter. But occasionally, a line is crossed, tempers flare, and things get heated. And when the player involved is known for a fiery personality and a history of confrontations, things can escalate quickly, leading to discipline from Major League Baseball. That appears to be exactly what happened with Pittsburgh Pirates outfielder Tommy Pham. Pham, a veteran player known around the league for his intense demeanor and not backing down from altercations, has just received a one-game suspension and an undisclosed fine from MLB for what the league termed inappropriate actions toward fans. This incident occurred during the Pirates' 3-0 win over the Los Angeles Angels on Wednesday. Let's break down what happened, because the sequence of events is key. It took place during the fifth inning of Wednesday's game. Angels batter Travis d'Arnaud hit a double that rolled into the left field corner of Angel Stadium. Angel Stadium is one of those ballparks with low fences in the outfield corners, allowing fans sitting there to get very close to the field, often leaning over or reaching out. As Tommy Pham raced down the double into that corner, a fan sitting right there reached out with their glove, trying to snag the ball perhaps, and in doing so, made contact with Pham. According to the reports, the fan actually touched Pham on the back as he was fielding the ball. Pham's immediate reaction upon being touched was instantaneous and telling. He immediately turned to look directly at the fan who had touched him. He reportedly glared at the fan for a moment before turning back to the task of throwing the ball back into the infield. Being touched by a fan while you're trying to make a play is certainly an unwanted and potentially startling interaction for a player. And Pham's initial response showed his displeasure. But the action that drew the suspension happened after the play was over. As Tommy Pham was heading back towards his position in left field, he made a gesture towards the fan who had touched him. MLB deemed this gesture an inappropriate action. Interestingly, the Angels' broadcast description of this gesture was much more tame, describing it simply as Pham saying hello to the crowd. However, whatever the exact nature of the gesture, MLB saw it as crossing a line. And things didn't stop there. Following the gesture, Pham reportedly went even further, motioning for the fan to come down onto the field, presumably to settle their dispute face to face. Now, comparing this reaction to how other star players have handled similar situations highlights just how differently Pham operates. For example, when fans have interfered with players like Mookie Betts or Mike Trout trying to make catches near the fence, those players typically react with frustration directed at the situation or the call, but not usually by directly engaging with or challenging the specific fan involved in such a confrontational manner. Major League Baseball reviewed the incident, and based on Pham's actions after being touched, particularly the gesture and motioning the fan onto the field, they issued the one-game suspension and fine. Pham is appealing the suspension, which is why he was still in the Pirates lineup on Friday against the Dodgers. Adding another intriguing layer to this story, Tommy Pham told reporters before Friday's game that he had spoken with his lawyer regarding his legal rights in the incident. It's unclear exactly what he meant by this, perhaps exploring legal options related to the fan making physical contact with him, or maybe related to the suspension itself. The meaning remains a bit of a mystery for now. However, to fully understand this incident and MLB's swift disciplinary action, it's essential to look at Tommy Pham's history. This is not an isolated event. Pham has a well-documented, rather long list of confrontations with both fans and fellow MLB players over the past 6 years, cementing his reputation as one of the game's more volatile personalities. Some might remember his comments last year after a confrontation with the Brewers' William Contreras. Pham openly stated that he's always prepared to somebody up, adding that he trains to fight in the off-season, while he certainly wouldn't have been allowed to physically confront the spectator on the field. That quote gives you a window into his mindset when agitated. Going back further, in 2022, Pham gained national attention for slapping San Francisco Giants outfielder Jock Peterson over a dispute in their fantasy football league. Earlier in his career, while with the Cardinals, he reportedly challenged then Mets first baseman Luke Voit to a fight after a hard slide by Voit injured a teammate. And in 2023, while playing for the Diamondbacks, Pham got into a heated verbal altercation with a fan heckling him in the on-deck circle during a game against the Padres. In that instance, Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovullo defended Pham, claiming the Padres fans were saying some terrible things to him, suggesting that sometimes fan behavior can be just as provocative. This history paints a picture of a player who seems to have a short fuse or simply doesn't back down from perceived slights or provocations, whether they come from an opponent, a teammate, or a fan. In this latest incident, being physically touched by a fan, even if it was seemingly accidental in the context of reaching for a ball, was clearly the trigger. While fans reaching over fences and touching players is absolutely unacceptable and a security issue that the league needs to prevent, Pham's reaction to escalate with a gesture and motioning the fan onto the field crossed a line for MLB. The one-game suspension and fine are the consequence of that action, and the latest chapter in Tommy Pham's career marked by these kinds of confrontations. It's a reminder that while fan passion is part of the game's energy, there are boundaries for both fans and players. Pham's history, combined with his extreme reaction in this specific instance, led to the discipline, reinforcing his reputation as a player who plays with intensity, but sometimes struggles to control his temper when provoked. Alright, we've got more details emerging about that one-game suspension and undisclosed fine handed down by Major League Baseball to Pittsburgh Pirates outfielder Tommy Pham. We reported earlier that it was for inappropriate actions toward fans, following an incident during Wednesday night's game against the Angels. Now, we know specifically what some of those actions were. First, let's recap the initial incident itself, which happened in the fifth inning, as Pham was running down a double in the left field corner at Angel Stadium, where that low fence is. A fan reached over the railing and made contact with him on the back while reaching for the ball. It's what happened immediately after that contact that led to MLB's discipline. According to reports, Tommy Pham immediately turned to look at the fan who touched him and glared in his direction. Then, as he went back to his position, he gestured towards the fan. The Angels broadcast apparently described this as Pham saying hello to the crowd. But MLB deemed it an inappropriate action. And then, perhaps most notably, Pham followed that up by motioning for the fan to actually come onto the field, presumably to settle whatever dispute they had face to face. These specific actions, the glare, the inappropriate gesture, and motioning for the fan to come onto the field, were the reasons MLB issued the suspension. This incident is the latest in a history of confrontations Tommy Pham has been involved in over the years, both with fans and other players. Some might remember him saying he's always prepared to somebody up by training to fight, or the time he slapped Jock Peterson over a fantasy football dispute, or challenging Luke Voigt after a hard slide. He's had verbal spats with fans before, too. Interestingly, Pham told reporters before Friday's game that he spoke with his lawyer regarding his legal rights in the incident, although it's not clear exactly what he meant by that. So, this time, after a fan initiated contact by reaching over the fence, Tommy Pham's reaction went beyond just glaring. His specific gestures and the act of motioning for the fan to come onto the field were deemed inappropriate by MLB, leading to the one-game suspension and fine, adding another chapter to his history of on-field intensity and altercations, and introducing a new layer with his comment about legal rights.